We're live. I'm back, everybody. Hope everybody's been well. Dragonheir Silent Gods. If you're not playing it, download it with the link down below. Jump on Steam. You can download it there on your mobile device. Jump back and forth between all of those. We're waiting to hear word about what's going on with our mid-season event, mid-anniversary event, as well as the Dungeons & Dragons collaboration event and a whole bunch of other stuff that will be happening sometime next month is what we've heard. So we should hear more about that soon. Right now, I'm going to go on the test server and do some testing for some wild heroes because I haven't done this in a while. I've got my spreadsheet over here so I can make sure I jot down all the numbers. And we did this recently with Lothair. We got a lot of good testing done with him. We found out that it's not even worth getting his exclusive artifact. You can get the other legendary poison artifact and it will do like 1 million overall less damage. So it was pretty insane. So I'm hoping we'll find out something from this. Plus, if I do a tier list for every single damage type, then whenever you go do a chief challenge, a vortex boss, or the in-game boss at the very end of the season for the few days, we'll have a tier list and you can see who's going to do the most damage, right? It'll be easy to do that. Yo, Gory Dean, what's up, my man? How you doing today? We have a global release of another game that just came out, so a lot of people are on that. Like it just dropped an hour ago or 30 minutes ago. So everybody's on that right now. I don't know how many people are going to be watching Dragonheir Silent Gods, you know? They're probably all playing that right now, but that's okay. Because we're going to do some testing. I have not played... What am I over here? I'm over here in... This again is the test server. I haven't played Flora before, and I definitely want to test her out with all the different artifacts. I want to test her out with some different teams, some team ideas I have besides just going with Erich and Totalnan. I want to see if these other two epics will do well. And I haven't played with Felicity since I don't have Felicity on my main account. Yo, what's going on, man? How you doing? Java in the house. Welcome back. Yeah, everything is great. Nice little break. Sebastian. What's up, Sebastian? How you doing? Are you playing Waves WW right now, Sebastian? I need to get over to our camp. What am I doing? Okay, it's been a while. I got to figure out what I'm working. Where are my controls at? And let's see what kind of wilds do we have leveled up and skilled up. Okay, we did a lot of stuff with the poison, like I said before, working out how Lothair works the best, as well as like the best artifacts with him. And that exclusive artifact he gets really is not, it's better, yes, maybe by only like a 1% than a legendary artifact. So it's cool that if you have Lothair, you don't have to worry about getting another copy of him to excel. What's up, Danny? How you doing today? Raz in the house. Welcome back. I'm here, guys. We're ready to do some Dragonheir for 2 hours, and then we can do something else for a while, but I do want to get out of the house. I've got to go to the gym and hit my biceps and triceps today. My wife's been dragging me to the gym for the last 2 weeks, and I've been going, man. I've been really at it. And I just did a run last night, so I've been running 3 miles 3 times a week. Get a little exercise in there. We're not getting any younger. We got to keep exercising. Okay, now what do I need for gear? I need to get some gear that I can put on each of these heroes. Flora is going to be different because with Flora, we're going to put high enlightenment on her, but everybody else, we're going to have pretty much the same gear. Like all the other wild heroes, we can have the exact same gear to see where they are in a wild tier list. What is it? Concerned dog? What's that? Joe Money, what's going on, my man? It's been a while. Yeah, wife's keeping me in shape. Definitely. Because she's been a hardcore fanatic for this last year. Going on a while now. Like a full year, she's been a fanatic working out in the morning, going to the gym, eating a little bit too healthy for me. Like I'm ready to go get some dessert or get something cool, and she's just like, kind of a little bit boring, right? My wife's kind of been a bit boring about going to get some food, and getting some food is a big thing for everybody. Everybody in the whole world. I think food is something that, you know, you all sit down together, you relax, you enjoy it, you get some cool dessert, you go somewhere nice that's got some different food that you're not used to eating. And my wife's all like, I'll just drink this protein shake or something else healthy. And yeah. So keeping me in shape, I guess. That's what she's doing, right? But I still eat all that other... My kids are game, right? My kids are okay with eating whatever we want to eat. Whatever good stuff. Now, the problem with this, getting me some gear for every single wild hero that I test out, I want to get a 100% chance to crit, and I don't really care about the geared set because we're not concerned with that. We just want to know who's doing the most damage, and we really don't want these sets to interrupt that kind of damage. So if I put a 2-piece set on, of the aerial set, and then a 2-piece set of, isn't there a crit rate epic set? Goblin gives us a skill haste. There's got to be. It's this one, right? Nope, that's enlightenment. It's this one. 10. Okay, that's 25 additional crit rate overall. That'll work. But then I need high hits into crit rate itself. So I don't know. That's probably, I don't know. Let me check. Let me see who has the highest crit rate hits here. I'm trying to get a 100% chance to crit without putting on crit rate gloves and without a high crit rate artifact, but I don't think it's going to be possible. Back in Navy shape? She does, man. I don't think she wants me back in shape. She's not even worried about me. She'll buy me dessert and bring it home when I'm telling her I'm trying to, you know, get in the kind of shape she is, right? Hit back to the gym like we've been doing, running like I've been doing. And then what'd she do last night? She brought me home 2 of these bomb kuhans. They're these, it's kind of like a bread. It's kind of like a cake with a glaze on the top of it, right? So she brought me home these 2 kinds, and one was chocolate. And I was like, okay, the chocolate's new, but why did you buy the old kind? And she's like, that way you can, you know, taste the different. Well, I know what the old kind tastes like. I've had it plenty, but why did you buy me both, right? Sabotage. I know, man. Right? That's what I'm always telling her. You're talking to me all the time about being healthy, but then you're always buying me this garbage stuff, right? Sabotage. Oreos, welcome, man. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. Midnight, I'm back. Hope everybody's been well with this little time off that we've had. 16 crit rate. I mean, 3 hits. That's the best we can hope for. What else has the most crit rate hits? Yeah, man. Right, Joe Money. Exactly. She wants me to be healthy, but she secretly wants to be healthier than I am. Exactly. I believe that. I believe that is true statement as well. 15. I mean, that's pretty good. 59%. Oh, we've got some runes on down here. 17 crit rate on those runes. Hoping to kind of go with accurate attack or critical damage. It really doesn't matter. Honestly, with the sets we're going to put on, it won't matter. Attribute, crit rate. 17 is the most. 16 here with attack speed. It's still critical damage. These are some pretty good hits, but this is test server. This is not my main account. 13. So overall, we're already at 91. Okay, we're going to be able to do this really easy. So now I'm just going to go with some kind of basic set. So we don't have a 3-piece set bonus. We're just going to go with like attack speed or something. We could do skill haste, but let's just keep it simple with attack speed. That way when we bring in our other 2 wild heroes, they'll kind of be on the same 20-second timer. We're not losing anything. Which one is the... This is enlightenment. Attack speed. There we go. The Rhapsody set. Attack. So here, let's go with attack percentage as well. This will play whenever we do Flora with this gear. This will play with her too. We'll just have to change out enlightenment and enlightenment down there. And we won't need all this crit rate with her, but she can still crit, so we will. We'll use this crit rate. So now I just need gloves of whatever this set is. The Rhapsody set. What's the base crit? Oh, base crit of 20. That's really high. Eretz has base crit of 20? So really I need more than this. We're not high enough. I need 6 more, because most people have a base crit rate of 10. I think some rares have a base crit rate of 8. Was this the highest I could get? I think it currently is. Attack. Well, we could always pick a different set if we had to. We could always go with that skill haste. Unclean. Enlightenment. Attack with crit rate. 1 piece. Okay, attack with... Oh, that's not even the right gloves we have on right now. Okay, come on, please. 2 hits into crit rate. Please, oh please. Yeah, we're definitely low. Missing your input? Hey, appreciate that. To top 100? Really? Midnight doing your 15 teams? Is that what you're doing? I've been doing the same thing, 15. Well, that's why I'm on the test server right now to test things out, because otherwise we'd just be running around doing my teams, we'd be running around doing my vortex, and that's it. We wouldn't be doing anything else. Yeah, how'd you jump up so high? Are we on the same server? Okay, now if I want to go over here for eyeball, anything. Actually, we don't even need an artifact if we're going to test this out with no artifact. But I do want to know who does the most damage with artifacts, so let's do it with... one quest and one domain. Okay. I think you lose... Don't you lose... Like, if you do one quest and one domain, don't you lose a few thousand? Like, it's not a lot, but isn't it a few thousand every single day? Because when I calculated all those points... with doing each of the domains, and then I guess when you're at the highest domain, I guess maybe when you're at the highest domain doing it every day, maybe it will equal out. I don't think so though. I think it's only a few thousand, right? It's not much. It's not much at all. But did you say that we're on the same server or not? No, we're not on the same server, but we're in the same point of the season. Okay. Gotcha. So this is Erich. We could do... Man, I still need to get a little bit more crit. This is a little disappointing. 104 is not going to be enough for our other people because he's got 20% chance to crit. This is off, but there's no way for me unless we've got... Okay, let's go attack percentage along with crit rate and see what I've got for the highest crit rate. 16. Okay, we're just going to have to go with this set. Or we could just go with the mixed set, right? It doesn't even have to be a set. Now we don't even have the skill haste. We don't have the attack speed. It doesn't even matter. Up here, we're just getting it for the crit. So now I just need attack with the highest crit rate. And then we'll really be set. Oh, it's this one, though. All right, let's go with this. 17 crit rate. No, let's go with 15. 122. This will be perfect. So I'm going to save this. Test for my wild. We've got the runes down here that we're going to use. Lock these bad boys in. Okay, we're at 122, so every hero will have a 100% chance to crit. And let's start off with Erich. Single target, 3-team bonus. Lead. Where is... Does anybody have an accuracy lead? I don't know if I want to go with the accuracy lead either, but we got to go with some kind of outside lead. We could do it with somebody totally not even associated with any of this stuff. We don't want to do enlightenment. We want to do HP. Horus does have an HP, but then he'd be running up. Who has that? Fear, special. Where would I see accuracy? Ally protection. It'd be under buffs, right? Oh, they're not going to do leads, though. We can't do any leader skills. Who has an accuracy lead? Just any person. Anybody. Anybody out there. I can't remember. Her. She has an accuracy lead. Yeah. Okay, say 3-team bonus. We got him set up. He's going to wild proc. There's nothing we can really do to enhance his wild proc. Well, except for other people wild procking. That's why we've got others in here. So if we're going to do other people wild procking, we're going to need to put in a little bit more help than this, because it is going to be a little RNG when we run these. Not too much RNG, since we have pretty high chance to proc here with Netta. What does she get? Her battle skill, right? 50% chance to cast this again. Wild proc. Regular wild proc chance there. Should we do with these two? Or should we bring in our boy here? This is pretty good. I want to play with Alfie for sure, because I think Alfie and this girl was doing really good with the team I was running, and I was using her with Witch's Remains, and Alfie made it so that she would always do this 3 additional times. Can be cast up to 3 times in a row. So she would do this 3 times with Witch's Remains, with this guy right here, and then he was doing good damage too, right? Because he gets a 100% chance additional for his attack. You put Mana Core Statue for this, and he gets everybody always wild procking and gets her hitting multiple times always. And I guess this would affect her too, right? This would increase her to a 100% chance to wild proc if it was up when she does this. Can we get him to 100% uptime? He's at 16 seconds. We could give him the Hourglass as well as 70% 70 skill haste. And it'd be just like Corrin that we use for poisons. And he'd have 100% uptime. That'd be a lot though. That'd be quite a lot. All right, let's see what happens. Our total Nan is going to wild proc. Normal chance. Normal chance. Okay, this gives us something else. A little more chance to get it up faster. This is a level 1 dummy. Let's do 3 minutes. 5 minutes is going to be way too long. Vinyara has accuracy. Oh, nice. Appreciate that. I would like to pull Vinyara on my main account. That'd be great. All right, Erich, show me what you got. Finally made it over to YouTube. Hey, man, welcome. Dark Knight in the house. I am. We're playing Dragonheir today. We've got some more Dragonheir videos we got to do for my sponsorship before the end of the month. So I'll be doing Dragonheir for the next, I think, 6 days out of 8 days. How many more days do we have till the end of the month? And how many more videos do I need to kick out? Yeah, we've got 8 more days, and I think I have to do 6 more videos. I think. Let me double check this. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. Yes. So I can only take 2 days off until the end of the month. Keep stopping by. All right, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate that. Yeah, we got to knock these out. Since we took that time off, we got to come back and go hard on this now. And we got to do all the different elements out there. Do a tier list for every single one. Tier list for wild, tier list for shadow, tier list for every single group of heroes. Poison, Dauntless, all those that we have. We got to do a tier list for all of those as far as damage they can put out. And once you see that damage hierarchy, then all you got to do when you go up against a Chief Challenge or the Vortex boss or the in-game boss, all the things to where we get points to do well at the end of the season. To do well for that in-season shop to where we get all those goodies. All we got to do then, like new players, just need to come over here and look at what they have on their roster, look at this, and then we'll make teams too. Like we'll make teams that go together. So while I want to test out their damage, I also want to look at like team compositions. Not just like the best team composition. Of course, we're going to do some stuff with Flora. I do want to test Flora out because I've never played her. And it would be really cool to pull her one day. So we'll see what she's got. And then we'll do some testing with the rest of the crew to see who pulls off the most damage. And we'll know that because all we got to do is look at the sheet. Okay, these 3 do the most damage. So if I put them together, they're going to do the most damage. Does one of them hit multiple times on their legendary, on their ultimate? Yeah, okay. Then we can use Witch's Remains. You know, I don't think it'll be that hard. Now, I didn't look at how often Erich was doing wild procs. But I can assume with Netta in here, he was getting up to 100% chance to wild proc pretty quickly. Because once he's there, he's always going to wild proc on all his moves and do that additional damage. That small additional damage. So right now, I'm going to put him at 1,620,387. And just so I can see really quick, since this is our first run, I'm going to do this one more time and see how close we get to 1.6 million. Because the only variation we have is this starting wild proc. Like we need people to wild proc in the beginning so he can get his chance up higher. And it'll be easy. Now we'll probably have more variation with somebody like Total Nan. For sure we're going to have a bigger variation. But we could bring in Alfie. And then he'd give a 50% extra chance to wild proc. And then everybody should proc faster, more often. Sure. Oh man, Midnight. My daughter made me buy a new pair of shoes. It wasn't me. I told my wife this yesterday. We were at the gym. I was like, hey, Lilia made me buy... No, I was running and I met her after work. We're going through the grocery store. Lilia made me buy a new pair of shoes. They're really, really bright, and they should be in by tomorrow. So we'll see when they come in. I'll be streaming. Probably. Poison and corrosion on the Radiant boss? Made it so much easier. On the Radiant boss. Now, that's not the dragon, right? Doing poison and corrosion on the Radiant boss. The shield boss? Bright? What? Yeah. They're really bright. They're like gold yellow. Bright. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We just got to do a shirt that has a little bit of gold or yellow in it. I got this one Puma workout shirt that's got like the big words. Not big words. Actually, they're small lines, and it's yellow. You know, they'll go really well with those. They're tennis shoes, so they're not like normally. You could wear them with jeans. You could wear them with other stuff, but I'll be wearing them when I go run or work out. Yeah, you'll see them. You can't miss how bright they're gonna be. I think they're gonna be bright. It's kind of hard to tell. And then I told my daughter, I was like, oh, it says there's only a few left, right? When I'm on the website, it's like only a few left. So I was like, I guess I got to get them. Like a lot better when the bosses don't leave the field. Yeah, much better, right? But even though that boss leaves the field, he should keep his corrosion on, because I feel like when he's leaving the field, the debuffs are still on, but you just can't keep applying corrosion though, right? So once he leaves the field, it's not as easy to apply corrosion. So by the end of the 5 minutes, you don't have as much corrosion. So you've been using corrosion and poison on the shield guy. I just made a whole bunch of other teams. I've got 6 or 7 Frost and Ice Blast teams. 6 to 7 total. 6.2, exactly the same. 1,629,000. We've got 1,620,000. So did well. Even with those wild procs, we still did really well. Okay, that's cool. This is on one dummy. They ran it on the shield. You're talking about the Radiance. Oh, the Radiance boss. The Radiance boss is the one that takes ice damage. Okay, I get confused because, you know, like, the Radiant boss to me should be the one that takes additional damage from Radiant heroes, right? And that, or what are they called? Radiant heroes. Yeah. But that boss is the shield boss, but it's not the Radiant boss. The Radiant boss is the Shinna one. The one that, the Ice Blast, the one that takes damage from Ice Blast, it takes 100% damage from Frost. And you're using, so on that boss, you're doing corrosion and you're doing poison. Yeah, right. It's Shinna. The sea snake with the thing that does the random targets. Yeah, right. She only has a hard-hitting single target. Her AoE just doesn't do a lot of damage for her ultimate. But the single target to the tank does seem to ramp up over time quite a bit. But yes, very easy to do damage on her. It's cool that you're using corrosion and poison. I didn't even bother. I just made so many additional teams for my 15 teams that I didn't even worry about. I have no corrosion and no poison team made at all. All right, what other legendaries? Let's try out. It's trying to try her out. Now, she doesn't need any help. Wild procs from other people are not going to do anything for Felicity. Correct? 3 times, which is good damage. Really good damage, right? For single target. Ignores shields. That's cool. It'd be sweet if it ignored defense. Or a portion of defense. Here we get it. No, we could get some help again from... Okay, let's run her by herself and let's run her with Foley and try to match him up. So that she'll have a 100% chance to proc all these every single time she does it. And let's see how much damage we can get her up to. And we'll change her. Oh, I need to take note of what artifact I used. So I used Eyeball here. Should we now test him with something else? Because his battle skill does more damage than the ultimate sometimes. Or it could. 600% every... Yeah, total that would be 1,200% damage if we put it on the same time as the ultimate. Okay, let's do that first. Now let's go with him with Mana Core Statue. We haven't changed gear yet? No. And what kind of special artifacts does Wild get? I haven't tried out any of those either. Statue. There we go. Yo, Dark Knight, thanks so much for the Prime sub. Appreciate the love, my man. Was the Aura champion? You got her exclusive artifact? I mean, I use her right now. I've been using Amon Leda or whatever her name is, Amon. I've been using her for the whole entire season. Just because she's the exclusive I picked up. I was like, I'm gonna play Aura. I don't care if Aura are good or not. I'm just gonna focus on them. That's what I got. That's what I summoned. And it's great that you don't need any crit rate on her, right? She automatically crits. So we just load her up with critical damage, a lot of attack, have a blast. She's good. And I'm using the artifact that whenever she uses Aura, we get additional damage. It's not her exclusive, by the way. I'm not using her exclusive. Yo, what's going on? Nick's in the house. Welcome back. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Underwhelming even with it. I've used her in... With her, it's weird. You know how we say that... What's the gear set? We say that... What gear set is the one 50% additional damage? It does better than all other gear sets usually, especially when the boss or the chief challenge we're fighting doesn't have a lot of attack. Damn it, man. What's that gear set called? It's not the aerial. The Emperor. So we always say the Emperor set does the most, and it is. The Emperor set does do the most, right? The Emperor set, you put attack gloves on. It's almost the same as putting critical damage gloves on. You put attack runes. You get attack percentage wherever you can, along with a lot of crit rate, especially if your hero can crit. That's fine. And you're going to do that 50% additional damage on the Vortex boss. You'll do it on all the chief challenges because they don't have a lot of attack. And the in-game boss, you'll do it there when we fight the in-game boss. But with Amon, when I put all the Emperor set on her, and she's the only one that I've seen this, versus the aerial set with critical damage, for some reason I get a better output with her, even when I've got her on the Emperor set with like 6,000 attack, really high attack. So I know she's getting 50% additional damage. For some reason with her, it's weird. When I put the aerial set on and I put critical damage on her, and the aerial set gives us additional attack with the critical damage we have, I get more damage. It's very, very weird. Because it doesn't work that way with anybody else. But with her, that's the way it's been working for me. And I've switched over many times just to make sure I'm not crazy to see what's going on, and it's always the same. So look at this. We put him in the Mana Core Statue, and we still got a little increase. 1,600,000, and not enough to even make a difference, really. Where's some commas in here? Can I get some comma? Okay, eyeball Mana Core Statue. And now that we have a 100% chance to crit, I do want to test out some other artifacts. This is cool to test out artifacts too, because I've actually got a test subject that has a 100% chance to crit, pulling in pretty steady damage. It would be better with somebody else that doesn't do wild procs, but once he does enough wild procs, he's exactly the same with the damage. So now I want to test out the Horseshoe, which I do love the Horseshoe. We get that additional critical damage, and we get this attack speed increase from time to time, which isn't real consistent on somebody like this, but let me see what happens. I'm curious to know. 20% additional damage on our ultimate, 20% additional damage on our battle skill. Little increase on that for the statue, barely. And then now, with the 60% additional critical damage, less attack, and then sometimes getting that attack speed increase. What do you think we're going to get here? Did he just get the attack speed increase, right? I just don't think he's going to get this that often. He's not doing a whole bunch of basic attacks, right? I don't know. He's proccing it there again. He got lucky. It's not like a dauntless person is rolling with this. Yeah, I don't know what you're using on her as far as gear, but try out the aerial set. Give her all the critical damage you can and attack that you can. And with the aerial set, every bit of critical damage goes into like 4. Every point of critical, you get 4 attack, I think it was. I don't know, just try that out and you'll see it's like it was like a huge increase in damage. Like every time I switched her out of that, I got like a massive drop in my overall damage on the Vortex boss. So I've kept her in the aerial. But again, anybody else we do that test with, they're always going to do better with the Emperor set. So it's strange. I don't know what makes her different. It just doesn't make any sense. We got a minute left. I think he's going to do less damage, right? Now this horseshoe, if you guys don't know, when we did testing for Azul, was rocking on Azul. The new Shadow exclusive. It was doing damage. Like this horseshoe right here was doing great damage. Not as much as his exclusive, but like way more than it should be. Because he was doing so many attacks. He was getting the attack speed increase a lot. He was keeping himself in demon form longer, and he was getting that critical damage along with, I guess that's it, critical damage and the attack on there. Extend Blaze state? Oh, you don't have that to help extend the Blaze state. I got you. Yeah, that's who I used, right? 20% additional damage when she does her ultimate, and then we get the Blaze state. No, it did more damage. It did do more. Quite a bit more. So 1.6 with the statue eyeball. Now we've got 1.8. Interesting. What else could we test out? This is with horseshoe. Very interesting. 15 teams together for Otherworld. It's a lot of work. I still, like every day that I do my Otherworld 15 teams, I'm like, oh man, again, I got to do this again. And we don't have 10 times speed. If we had 10 times speed, much easier. 15 teams would fly by a lot quicker. Use something like Hourglass and Energy Harvest Gloves. It does better. The aerial works better there. And I've got decreased, like I'm always using Sonaro, so I have 100% uptime on decreased attack. So I know that my set, especially the Emperor set, is really functioning at full power. 50% additional damage, yeah. I'm surprised, man. Horseshoe kicked it in right here. So 60% of critical damage obviously is better than the 20% additional battle skill, because we're getting 60% additional critical damage on all attacks, no matter what he does. Battle skill or ultimate, he's always getting this. So we got a really nice increase there. What other kind of epic artifact? Or now we need to go to the legendary ones, the wild ones that I've never tested before. Is there any other kind of artifact, epic or rare, that you can think of that's really good? The passive one isn't going to do us any good with him. He does do a little passive damage, but that's not going to increase his damage. No way. 20% additional damage all the time. Obviously with crit rate. Yeah, if we had shields, that would be great. I like this one. It's fun, but it gives us 20 crit rate, and we're already maxed out with critical. We're already maxed out at 100% crit rate. So I don't think there's any other offensive epic one we need to worry about. The slingshot would be fun, but we don't have any accuracy. Let's just do it. Let's see what happens. But we don't have any additional. We'd have to go high into accuracy. The slingshot is amazing, like pretty broken for an epic. But you need to have accuracy. Even if the guy doesn't use accuracy, you got to use accuracy. You got to use right side rune accuracy, and then it really, really kicks off. We'll have to do that with a different test. You know, on my brand new account that I tried out, I never got the Elven Hunter's Quiver. I was on day 4, and I still hadn't picked this thing up. And I don't know if I like passed it. Before it was in with our commission quest. You couldn't miss this. You just did so many commissions, and eventually it was right there as a reward. Now I don't know where it's at in the beginning, but I used to love this thing. This thing was no joke. It was very powerful. Oh, never mind. I'm not going to mess with it right now because I can't even level it up. Okay. Which ones affect wild? What do we have here? Have you guys been using any of these wild artifacts? Okay, this one's a wild one. 30% damage bonus to the wearer's skill on a successful wild proc. and you're getting critical damage. This one is going to be pretty good for Erich because he's going to beat 100% chance to wild proc on his abilities. This is probably going to pull in some serious damage. But then you could have him with a pipe organ or something like this, and then it's going to help everybody else out if they're ranged. So I don't know. But I did want to look at all the wild. Is this another one? For each 10 seconds upon an ally's successful wild proc. Okay, but what ally is going to wild proc 5 times in a row? It's your battle skill and ultimate. You can't... And this is nice, it's got crit rate too, but you can't... Unless you have a back-to-back wild proc mechanic, like, what's his name? I haven't played him either. There's a lot of wild legendaries I haven't played yet, so I'm going to have fun playing those guys in a minute. The Jester one, Casper, can Casper wild proc over and over or just do his ultimate over and over when somebody else wild procs? Felicity can wild proc a few times in a row. Foley can do it a few times in a row on her ultimate. But it still wouldn't be 5 stacks up very often. 7% for 10 seconds. And if we got 3 stacks, that's 21% additional damage. But how is that compared to these other ones? I don't know. I'm guessing this one would be pretty sweet. 30% damage bonus. Only to that skill, and he gets critical damage. I'm assuming this would bring us much higher than the horseshoe. Since the horseshoe's kind of doing the same thing, but this is going to give us that damage increase. Much higher. What do I need to do? I need to do summons. Per ally's wild proc. So anybody. Yeah. Even though it says ally, that's anybody. So anybody wild procs, we get 1 stack on a team of 3, which you usually would have, right? That could be a lot of additional damage. That could actually be a lot. But you know how many summons I'm going to have to do to level up both those artifacts? Probably this many. Is everybody saving all their summons right now? I'm waiting to see what's going on with our mid-anniversary event, with the Dungeons and Dragons event. I don't want to spend... Whoa, let's go. I don't want to spend any of my summons right now. I'm saving everything. I'm just waiting to hear word, you know? Still strong? Nice, man. Very nice. 130 strong. That is awesome. But here's the thing. We're going to go into the next season, and the season banner only lasts for a short period of time. Right? Midnight, we go into season 4. The banner's only there for a week. And a lot of times we want to summon on that because it's only season 4 heroes. And then bam, they hit us with Dungeons and Dragons, or they hit us with mid-season anniversary. I don't know. Now, eventually they'll get back on cycle. Man, Azul, what? Yeah, I guess they'll eventually get back on cycle sometime once they figure out what's going on. The $200 banner? The season banner's a $200 banner? Because we go get all our refills. Exactly. Yeah, we get all of our refills and then we go summon on that banner. That is true. Shinna, another good legendary for Ice Blast. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of scared to summon. I don't know if I'm going to summon on the season banner now. I got to wait to see what's going on with the D&D and whatever else we have going on. Well, hopefully we'll be able to play test all the new stuff, right? Before the season comes out, we'll be able to play test all the new heroes. I hope, just like we've always been able to, and then I'll decide whether I'm going to summon or not. I feel like I've got so much power right now with Sonarl and all these other heroes, even though I don't have an amazing... Like, if I just had one amazing... If I had a Flora, if I had a Rook, I wouldn't even care. I would not be summoning on the next season because I've got so much power then. I need one exclusive to do amazingly well in the Vortex boss, and that's all I need. I don't need any other hero. Just that one awesome exclusive. So Rook. So that's all I need is a Rook. And if they let us summon for only the poison banner and I get a chance to get Lothair or Rook, then I'd probably want to save for that, you know? That's why I might not even want to spend any on the Season 4 banner. I might want to just spend on the mid-anniversary banner or whatever they're going to call it. Man, I don't know. I'm going to really have to think about it. I hope so. I hope they nerf him after the season because it just doesn't make any sense right now. And they're going to have to change how the end of the seasons work, because right now, if you've been playing Rook all season, you've always been at the top. You've always been 100, 1 to 100 on the leaderboards, because being that high on the Vortex boss, you get points for that for the end of the season. That's the only way we get points for the Vortex boss until the very last month. And then if everybody at the very last month is running with 15 teams or 13 teams plus 2, then you're not going to change rank at all. If I went into the end of the season at rank 115, and if everybody 100 through 114 are all doing 15 teams like I am, my rank will not change. Because all they have to do is 22 million and then pull out, right? 22 million done, pull out. So the only thing that's going to make a difference for me is if I can do extremely well with my 6 teams on the in-game. Oh, that'd be cool to have. I really want Tharvel as far as Dauntless go, because he's ranged and he's awesome. So right now, corrosion cap, something like that. They do poison caps. They have the number of poisons that we can only put up. 40 poisons on one target. It can't go any higher than that. So if they did do a number of corrosion cap, yeah, they could do it that way. I feel like there's a lot of things they could do, but again, we don't hear anything, so who knows? But if they don't nerf him next season, I'm a little bit worried. Just not getting dupes for their artifacts. Top 20 on Vortex. Nice. Yeah, you don't always have to have their exclusives, though. That's what's great about it. Sometimes some of the other artifacts for like poison or corrosion can do almost as well as their exclusive. We just have to test it out. We just have to test it on the test server. Sometimes it's not a huge difference. Yeah, you'll want their exclusive eventually, but it can be not a major, it could be like a total of, say, 5% additional damage, 1% additional damage. Sometimes it's not a lot. You'd be surprised. Just depends on how powerful that artifact is, how lucky we got with it. Yeah, they need to do a little bit of balancing, especially with Rook. Sasha, what's up, my man? Well, it's not really like the meta is completely changed. It's just that we have a very broken exclusive right now. Rook is just way too out of whack. You've got like people that are baseline, then you've got people above that baseline that are really, really good, that are the meta heroes, and then you have Rook, which is like way out in outer space above everybody else, and it's way too much. Like, what are you gonna do? Bring another hero that's better than Rook out? I mean, it just wouldn't even make sense. To have Rook stronger than the meta heroes, like a little bit stronger, say 5% stronger, is okay. It's still within line of everything else. Maybe one day Wild gets a better artifact, and then now they could bring themselves up that 5% and be in line with Rook, like something better for Flora. Who knows, right? They could easily kind of bring other people in line with that if they wanted to later on down the line. But right now, with how strong he is, there's nothing you can do to bring others close to where he's at. You got to nerf him. When people are that far out of line, you got to nerf him. And they already nerfed him once because he was doing bazillions. Like 500 billion. I don't know. He's doing like crazy numbers. And then they nerfed him, and he's still obviously doing crazy numbers because they didn't have time to test him when they nerfed him. All the content creators were on the test server for the new season showing these crazy numbers with him. And they were like, okay, yeah, it's too much. Let's nerf him. They nerfed him the day of release for the season, but they didn't have a chance to play test that nerf. And they needed more time. They needed to take our feedback, nerf him, let us play him again, update the test server, and then see if they need to make changes. And they didn't. They just like brought him out, right? Like, here he is, and it's way too much. Yo, what's going on? RHCX in the house. How you doing? getting 60 million with subpar gear is pretty broken. Yeah, I mean, if you're in the top 100 all the time with subpar gear, yeah, it's gonna be extremely broken. It's not very cool, especially now this season. Like, especially this season, because again, whatever you're ranked right now going into Otherworld, as long as you're making your 13 to 15 teams, you're going to stay that same rank because everybody else in top 100 is doing the same thing. And then the only thing that's going to matter is those few days on the in-game boss to try to get some small increase. So if I go into the in-game boss at rank 125, maybe I could do enough damage with my 6 teams on that in-game boss to bring myself to 100. Maybe, probably not. Maybe bring myself from 125 to 120 would be a better guess if I'm doing pretty well. But there's just nothing, like the way they have it set up right now, and it obviously needs to be fixed, and I'm sure it will be fixed. There's nothing to fight over, right? We just back out at that 22 million. We need a leaderboard, an overall leaderboard for a daily one. It'd be cool if we had a weekly one. It'd be cool if we had a daily one. Every day we see who did the most damage and everybody got some kind of small reward for that. But I guess a weekly one like we have on the Chief Challenges. So it's already there. It's already in place for Chief Challenges. Very easy to make sure it's going to be in place for Otherworld. And then we could see people try to climb, try to overtake others outside of what we did on Vortex. They should buff Aura too. I mean, yeah, they got a lot of stuff they could buff. A lot. They could buff normal poison, the actual poison tick, poison duration on there to do damage, to actually do damage, so that all poison heroes can do well. Not overpowered. You know, all these changes we're asking for aren't making these heroes overpowered, aren't making it to where they're gonna overtake all these other heroes that are doing well, like Flora. You know what I'm saying? We're just trying to get them to at least perform. That's what we want. I mean, that's what I want. That way, if you have poisons, the poison legendaries are great, right? If you have the 3 poison legendaries, it's the only way to make poisons work. But it shouldn't be that way. You should still be able to do decently well with poisons. It's either you have a poison legendary or you got nothing. And it shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that you got to have one of the 3. One's an exclusive, right? Then you got Vakana, which is a little bit hard to work with. And then you got Jathali. You shouldn't have to have one of those 3 legendaries, with one being the exclusive, just to have a decent poison team. I mean, why? Why doesn't poison just work well? It's so silly, right? It doesn't make any sense. We've got plenty of wild heroes that work well. They all do very well single target damage. Why can't poison do equivalent to wild single target damage? In its poison way, right? Are trash compared to legendaries. They are. They're completely, like, if Rally didn't have awesome legendaries, nobody would play Rally at all. You'd look at the rares, you'd look at the epics, and you'd be like, these are all trash. They don't work well. Rally doesn't stay on until you use it, like it does with Ice Blast. It can be removed, it can be blocked. Even when it does work, Rally doesn't increase the damage enough to where it's like, oh wow, I have Rally on. Look at this. I'm doing 25% additional damage, so now I'm doing the same amount of damage as other people, you know? Yeah, they need to do that. And we're not trying to make all heroes do the same damage either, but we do want all heroes to at least be somewhat viable for whatever content they're supposed to do well with. If they're supposed to do good at single target damage, then they need to at least be decent at single target damage. If their thing is doing well at AoE damage, then they need to at least be decent at that AoE damage. Not terrible, just decent. Weaker version of Shadow. Yeah, Aura is definitely weaker when it's compared to Shadow and compared to Corrosion, for sure. Now, I don't know about just Corrosion. Like, if we just play Corrosion, normal Corrosion without Rook, it's still pretty powerful. 23? Or 2.3 million? What's this thing called? Ring of the Scarlet Sorcerer. Okay, let me try this one other artifact. Now this is when anybody wild procs, you guys said. It's ally, so it's going to be anybody. Damn, we're just short. And we opened up 210. Increase the damage dealt by the wearer by 7% for each 10 seconds upon an ally successful wild proc. It's 5 times. Okay, let's see how many stacks we get with this. At least at non-legendary level. Even if you hourglass, they don't work. Non-legendary. It doesn't matter if you have corn and you put up 40 stacks and you let 40 stacks rock on somebody for 5 minutes. Poison still doesn't work compared to other heroes. Rares and epics. If I bring in rares and epics of other, regular classes, and I let poisons stack up for 40 stacks and I just let them keep ticking on the boss, it's still not any kind of comparable. It's not any damage. Thunderbolts? Thunderbolts are bad now. Thunderbolts are extremely bad. Like very, very bad. Boy, do they need to buff those guys? Yes. They need to buff those guys more than a lot of other damage types. Yeah. So there's a lot. Like when you start talking about all the different things that they need to buff, there's a lot. It's crazy that we have anything to play with at all when we talk about all the different damage types that need buffs. And I've been pulling a lot of shadow. Mechatork? It doesn't matter Mechatork. Thunderbolt did well on Mechatork, yeah. Especially if you have perk, right? But other than that, if you don't have perk, then no, Thunderbolt does not do well on Mechatork. You just had a lot of targets on Mechatork, so Burn did well. Burn does well anyways. Burn does a lot of damage if you have the exclusive. But Mechatork, judging a group of damage dealers on one in-game boss is not a criteria you want to judge your heroes on. Not at all. Hey, I got this exclusive. This exclusive sucks, but I do well on the in-game boss. One in-game boss. It's not the same in-game boss every season. One in-game boss I did well on is not the way to ever judge a hero. That would be the saddest thing ever. Man, I don't ever get to play this hero. I got to play it for one season against this one boss and they did well. Great. Sure, go Burn Vortex. No, Burn's got a lot of cool uses though. Burn does actually do some cool damage, especially with Horatius, the epic that blows them up. Only single target bosses. Pargu. I think Pargu is pretty decent. We get a lot of debuffs with Pargu. There are a lot of AoE teams. There are a lot of single target teams. You're right. But unfortunately, Thunderbolt don't do well on AoE. They don't do well on single target at all either. Unless you got a stationary boss where it can do well on that one with multiple targets, where we've got 6-7 targets on there. They need to make AoE teams for what bosses? I did summons and we need to put the other artifact on. Thunderbolt are terrible. Like all Thunderbolt are terrible unless you had the exclusive. And even then it's pretty terrible to even play Thunderbolt. You're not going to play Thunderbolt really in anything unless the in-game boss allows you to do it. Thunderbolt is just bad. What are we talking about? Yeah. You have perk. You have an exclusive that does well, right? You get the overwhelm stacks up. We got to get Electrocute being applied over and over so we can get some more overwhelm stacks, and he does a crazy amount of damage. Yeah, he does. Again, to do it only on one in-game boss that has multiple targets, not all in-game bosses have that many multiple targets. It was just that season was a pretty good one that had 7 different targets. We had the 6 orbs and we had the boss, and they did really well there. Overall, though, Electrocute are terrible. How it works for the Electrocute to be applied, all the rares and epics they have that barely even have a chance to apply Electrocute, and then you need to have it on multiple enemies so they can create a chain, is just a terrible concept, especially when you have so many heroes that are epics that have like a 40% chance to apply it. Every single epic Electrocute person is the worst. Like they are just bad as far as damage they do. Single target, AoE, it doesn't matter. And then when you look at even something like Nissa, she's just garbage. She's garbage except for that one boss you're talking about. So you wouldn't bring them in anywhere else. Where are you going to bring them in AoE wise? You're going to run them through Goblin? You're going to run them through what? Where else do we need AoE something like that to where we're just doing some damage that we can't get it done with somebody else easier that we already have? You know what I mean? They're just bad designed. They are totally bad designed. We need a higher chance to apply Electrocute. We need to create that chain more often. And none of the heroes we have can do that really well. They just need to be a little bit revamped on that. But as far as they go, they are totally bad. One AoE boss, bad idea. Bad design on bosses. Well, it's a bad chance to apply. Like it's a bad. They need to increase. First off, they need to increase the chance to apply Electrocute. Period. Like they just need to increase it so we can actually get Electrocute up and then see if that's going to do anything. See if that's going to work. But it's the same thing as poison. It's the same thing as burn. Having the actual debuff up really gives us no damage. What we need is somebody that can take advantage of that debuff. We need Eracius, the epic lizard, to take all those burns away and do damage. We need Ash, the exclusive, to take that away and to do damage. Otherwise, the actual burn debuff stacking on some people and doing damage doesn't do a lot of damage. Like not noticeable damage. It's all negligible. Same thing with Electrocute, same thing with all the rest of them. So it's just not worth it. They do need to bring more AoE bosses. You're right. I completely agree. We need more AoE bosses everywhere. I kind of wish the Vortex had 3 different bosses that we could cycle through 3 different seasons. The Vortex would have a side guys for one season, so it could be a lot of AoE teams. The next season would be single target. Then the next season would be, I don't know, some other kind of mix or something else where it's got some kind of buffs or debuffs like that. So we could take advantage of more AoE teams. I would love that. I would absolutely love that. Okay, let's see how many stacks we get here. But even with that, and with all that said, Electrocute's still trash. They are trash. They need to be reworked as far as how Electrocute is applied. Yeah, it's trash. And if you don't have perk, you might as well not even like ever try to play Electrocute. Like there's not even any reason to. If I don't have the exclusive rally, I can still play rally with a lot of the legendaries, all the legendaries, because they're amazing. I can still play rally with Higio, Welby sometimes, depending on who you have. And then I could play it with the other one, the little elf that gives you rally every 6 shots. And we can, Higio still does amazing damage, right? We could get some damage in there AoE wise with him. But with Electrocute, you can't play any of them unless you have the exclusive because they are total trash. Single target are screwed and have to wait. Yeah. That's fine. It's a season. That's fine. It's a season. You have different changes in seasons. That way it switches things up and it's not the same mundane boss every single season. And then people have to switch up their strategy, switch up the exclusives they're using or working on for that season, their teams. Yeah, it's what all teams are all about. It's what all games are all about. All games are all about having a extensive roster and then putting you in situations to where you have to use different heroes, not use the same heroes all the time. Yeah. If she had multiple targets, well, I mean, that's the whole point, Sasha. You don't ever make a mobile game and then you say, okay, it's the same thing all the time, nonstop. Use this one team and that's it. Use this Flora team and then that's it. Every season you're always, this is it for the Vortex boss. You don't do that. That's not how you make a fun, good game to have people level up and use different heroes all the time. It's not how you do it. It should be one season AoE, one season single. Yeah, something like that, right? Yeah, it'd be cool. Because right now all we get is each season. We've had 3 seasons where it's just all single target, same Vortex, no change. I think they could spice that up a lot. Definitely. Should not be. I think it'd be cool if it was. I think it'd be extremely cool if it was. Because we're already leveling up a lot of heroes. It won't be that big of a deal to do AoE based. Are you saying that because you don't have that hero? You're like, this guy didn't, this artifact did not do well at all. We were not getting enough wild procs up, oddly enough, to give him stacks, even though we had a chance, 50% chance to get additional wild procs on her battle skill. Netta's at a higher chance to get wild procs. I'm going to put this number here, but this is very sad. We'll have to use this artifact on somebody, Foley maybe, where he's giving everybody a higher chance to wild proc. This artifact just doesn't function well, right? Even though it's all allies, you're not going to have more than 3 wild on your team. Sometimes you're only going to have 2 if you have a lot of support. And there just isn't enough wild procking all around to make this artifact viable, especially compared to the Scarlet Ring. Flame Tongue. But let's double try this really quick. Let me see the proc on this. So we've got a 60% additional chance to wild proc. And she's got a chance to do some additional wild procs on her. Let me look at him. No, that wouldn't be good. You shouldn't. No, that doesn't make any sense. Then you'd have to have 2 different leaderboards. You can't have just one leaderboard. That wouldn't make any sense at all. You can't have a pop-up like that. You'd have 2 totally different like leaderboards. One for AoE, one for single target. You either have to have everybody do AoE, everybody do single target each day, and then they get points based on that on one side or the other. That would be fine. But you couldn't do either or. That wouldn't make any sense at all as far as points go and competition wise. So he's got 3 stacks on right now. He's got 5 stacks on at this point. I mean, I don't think he's doing bad with stacks. He's got 3 stacks on at this point. That's 21% additional damage, right? But they don't stay on consistently enough with all 3 wild procking. Season 4, I don't think so. I think the smartest thing and the only thing for them to do is to add on to what we currently have. It makes 0 sense to add another damage type. Most damage types that we have for each of the different elements is a single target and an AoE. Somewhere around there kind of is what we have for most damage types. Makes 0 sense to add. And since we have so few of a lot of those damage types, like Electrocute and, I don't know, we've got a lot of Burn, Ice Blast, maybe Rally, Wild, all this kind of stuff. There are a few, actually I named a lot that we have a lot of. There are other elements out there that we don't have a lot of, but I named the ones that we do actually have a lot of. They need to build upon what we have, right? So we can make these teams more interesting and at least play with some new heroes. New wild heroes. What I expect to see for Season 4 is like 3 additional wild heroes, 3 additional burn heroes. Same thing with Poison and Corrosion, same thing with Aura and Rally, all that. Yeah, I don't think that they can go with another. I don't even think it's anywhere near time to do that. I don't think for years to come they need to go with another new damage type. I think right now we need more exclusives for each damage types. We need more legendaries, epics, and rares, and more artifacts. They need to build on what we have. No way they should come out with another damage type when some of these damage types are so terrible. And again, we need to build upon having fun with them. And it wouldn't be bad also. 1.7, same. This just isn't working well for him. It wouldn't be bad also if we got some like dual damage types. Obviously, it'd still be a fire-based hero, but when it does something, it could do something for wild and burn. So instead of having Durham in here to where he does increased... What do we got for him? Burn. So instead of having him give a buff to only burn heroes, we could have a hero in here that gives the buff to burn and wild, right? We could have kind of like a dual. We could start having some of those kind over time. I do believe that's the only way to do it. If they come out with another damage type for each of them, it's going to be bad. Like really, really bad. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think they should do that for at least how many more seasons? Many seasons. 5 or 6 seasons until we get a lot. And they need to really look at it and see, okay, maybe this damage type needs help. So we'll add some, look, we're looking over here at Thunderbolt. They need some help. Let's add some heroes in here that'll help them out. Let's look at this. This needs some heroes. And then everybody gets some new exclusives so we can have some fun with it. Yeah. No way they're going to bring out another damage type. I just can't believe it. I think that'd be extremely bad for business. I think people would definitely lose hope in what's going on here even further. All right, so here's some numbers I got for Erich so far. And we got to test out all these artifacts, so I really like that. So with Erich, 100% chance to crit, we've used the eyeball, 1.6 million. We used the statue, 1.64 million. So barely any change between the eyeball or the statue with him. Horseshoe, we got a nice increase right there. Although we are rocking 100% chance to crit, so we're taking advantage of this critical damage. The Scarlet Ring really increased our damage there. But the Flame Tongue, even though we saw all those stacks, we saw it go up to 5 stacks sometimes. It was hovering at 3 stacks a lot. And then it would drop off and then build back up. Still, the Flame Tongue was not doing well. And I bet the Flame Tongue doesn't do well for a lot of people. Overall, I bet this Flame Tongue is not exceptional. Because we just don't wild proc. And we're doing a team of 3 wild people. We just don't wild proc that often to use the Flame Tongue. But we'll keep an eye on the Flame Tongue and see who else we test out. Because I haven't tested any of the other... Like, I've never had Casper on my own account. I've never had... I have Rash, which I'm not a huge fan of. He does okay. But we'll test him out with all this stuff too. So let's go on to more heroes. Finya? Finya is awesome. Man, support. I love support. I would love to pull some cool support for ice. Would love to. Okay, what do we got for wild still? We got to get to our girl Flora. Maybe we'll get to her tomorrow. Let's see. We've got Casper. That's it. Okay, I've never played with Casper. I hear he's pretty unique, so let me see if this guy is good. Anybody got a lot of experience with Casper and like him? $9,000 scrolls. Philosia? Yeah, if I had either of those two, I'd be happy. Unfortunately, I don't. Like Necro and Lightning? Yes. Yes. They will. They will. And they're slowly doing that. They are. They're adding support to those classes that need it. And they're coming out with cool ones, too. So they're doing a good job with support. Like, we got Sonaro. We got Finya. Just this season alone, right? Sonaro, Finya. We got Victor, which is a really cool support for fire. Theodomir, which is really cool. And Frost. That doesn't go with a damage type. So they came out with some really cool heroes. I think there's more that I can't think of right now. But in Total Nan, for the wild checks, the wild checks wouldn't matter. We had Erich along with Netta, which has a 60% additional. So that means she's got a 90% chance to wild proc when she does her move. If I bring in Total Nan just has a normal chance to wild proc. A 30% chance to wild proc every time Total Nan does its ultimate and battle skill. So that's not going to help Erich get more wild procs going for the whole entire team. Oh, you're saying try him. Try this guy, Casper. Okay, well, let's see how his ultimate works out. Because I think there's a thing to get more wild checks while his ultimate is going on, correct? I think that's what we want. We want wild procs while his ultimate is happening. I believe. Let's read over it really quick. For the next 15 seconds, the hero throws 3 daggers at the enemy upon an ally's wild check. So we want people that can wild proc a lot, but after he does his ultimate. Yeah, Felicity with the additional hits on her battle skill will work well. The other girl that has additional hits on her ultimate will work well. Anybody who can proc wild back to back, right? To enable him. Yeah. To help, well, he only wild procs on his battle skill, but to help other people wild proc would be good. Like if we had Foley along with this other girl that I really like, we could have her, or even with Felicity, we can make sure Felicity wild procs the max times that she can, but only on her battle skill, so she'd be hard to She'd be hard to time up with Casper unless we made Casper at 100% chance to... Unless we brought his ultimate down to 15 seconds. So we could have 100% uptime on this. Alright, so we're going to put Casper, our wild testing gear on. Doesn't matter what artifact, but I'm assuming he'll get additional damage from this eyeball. From doing that. But we'll test everything. Alright, he's overcapped crit. We got him with the eyeball. So right now he's going to proc that wild ability, and then we need people to... Yeah, it's going to be hard. It's going to be really hard to time her up with that. But we could time up him, as well as her, all on battle skills. And she will do 3 wild procs back to back to back. Yes, but Felicity's on a battle skill. So again, it's kind of hard to time up with him. Felicity has a 50% chance. She's got a 50% chance, right? Oh, no, she doesn't have a 50. She just has a wild check of 30% normal. What? Each successful wild check by the ally increases the damage to the hero's next basic attack. Okay, that's cool. This one doesn't even have a... There it is. Yeah, 30. So she's only got a 30. Now, if we give Felicity 50, she'll be at 100% chance. But, again, on her battle skill. We're not trying to apply witches right now. We're just looking at the damage that Casper can do. Alfie's right there. He's right there to give them 50% additional, yes. But again, let's try him with just a normal team first. See what kind of additional damage we get from him. Does he rely on any other wild procs? Ignores the target's 1% defense for each stack of absurd charade. How does he get these stacks? Okay, so he really wants everybody wild procking a lot. This guy he always looked cool when he came out. Cannot be reset. Each stack of absurd charade. Each dealing 20 attack. So it can crit rate. This is not derivative damage. It doesn't really seem like a lot of damage. Let's see this. Who's going to wild proc for me? He'll get up to 100% chance to wild proc. And she'll probably wild proc pretty often. 57,000, that's it for the ultimate. And then here, did he throw daggers? I can't tell if he's throwing daggers then or what. Are we gonna wild proc here? Okay, we wild proc. I can't tell the 3 daggers, can you? Oh, those are the 3 is that it when he's kind of leaning forward? I feel like he's throwing 3 daggers quite a bit there. Yeah, those are them. He's kind of like leaning forward a little bit. Like you see the three red spectrums come out. Looks pretty interesting. Yeah. It would be a lot of daggers, I guess, but let's see what this guy's damage is compared to Erich's right now. Are they all on 20-second? She's on 16 seconds. Okay. He'll get up to 100% chance to crit, to wild proc, and then she should wild proc at a 90% chance. We got accuracy. Let's go. I mean, he's got it up for 15 seconds. That's quite a lot. So any of our battle skills that wild proc as well. Oh, crap. Choked him on it. Yeah, their ultimates are on. So this is Casper with... Erich. And what's her name? Netta. And he's got the eyeball on right now. Yeah, I hope it's a lot of damage. I don't know. I've never seen anybody really use Casper, right? Like, I've never seen people use Casper anywhere. Should be good against the Chief Challenge, right? On compensation? For what? Compensation for what compensation, man? What are you talking about? They plan to give us? Justice for players? Oh man, what Dragon Caller, what kind of compensation are we talking about here? Do you want a legendary hero and a legendary artifact? Would you like 80 summons by week 2? Would you like some purple dice? I think did we get the purple? I don't think we got the purple dice. The fiasco with season 1. Emotional damage. Yeah, man, you tell me. I thought we would have heard about that the week after. When I posted my video and I talk about it's the weekend, right? Comp for banning Stew? Exactly, Oreo. He knows. When I did my video and I said, okay, it's the weekend, it was Friday. They came out with this statement saying that they're going to compensate. We broke down that statement that they put out. And our feelings about it, how we didn't like believe anything was going to happen, right? And that I said, I didn't even say that. Like in my video, I didn't say anything about how we didn't trust it. I didn't say any of that. All I said was that it was Friday. They probably didn't have time to come out with what they're going to do for our compensation. And we'll hear all about this next week. And I said that if I was them, I would come into the office on Monday and then get a plan together to tell everybody what they're going to do to get everybody the legendary, to get everybody this 7-day login reward little thing that we can do, to get everybody the deals with Vicuck and all the 99-cent deals that everybody else has on season 1. And then I'd let everybody know what we're going to do and give them a timeline of how we're going to get it out. That's what I would have done. Yeah, right? Instead they suspend me for 7 days. Exactly. Yeah, we're not going to do any of that. We're just going to suspend this guy for 7 days. Ridiculous, right? Completely ridiculous. So this dude with the eyeball pulled in with Netta and Erich in here. If we had fewer people to wild proc, it would be less damage. Almost 2 million. Like right there at 2 million. There's no reason to... It was Twitter Rimley. Yeah, it was constructive, right? I wasn't trying to, especially the second video. The first video, I still wasn't trying to do anything. I was just saying both of our sides about how can season 1 get all this stuff and then you're not doing anything for us, and season 2's in limbo with mythic gear. Season 2 got hit even harder and you haven't come out with what you plan on doing anything. Like, come on, people are upset. They're very upset. So that was my first video, right? And then the second video was very constructive. Like, hey, they're probably going to come out next week and let us know what's going on. So we'll just wait till then. This is the end of the week. And I'm sure they're going to come out and let us know what kind of rewards we're going to get. But I did say in that video, the only fair and the only real thing that they have to do is give us a legendary hero, Charlatch, because they're giving it to in season 1. How can... It just doesn't... come on, guys. It makes no sense. We've been playing since season 1. So if this would have been in effect since we were playing, we would have gone through that same cycle and we would have gotten him as well. You can't just give out a legendary hero to people joining season 1. It's part of the progression that we already went through, and then act like you're not going to give it to us when we already went through that progression. We can't go back and do it. The game's not designed that way. We have to have it given to us now because we already did it as your loyal customer. It's just it hurts, man. It hurts even thinking about why you would not already have that in the game and given to us. Charlotte should already be given to us, just like it was done to all new players right now, to all players in the game, as well as that legendary artifact for him, and then any kind of rewards that are associated with that. Yes, absolutely. It's not even a thing where you need to like think about it. If we went back in time and it was there when we went through it, then we would have obviously gotten it already, right? Everybody would get it playing the game, and everybody right now gets it playing the game. So I don't even know why it's like even a talking point. Why should season 2, season 3, season 4 get this stuff? Because we already did that, man. We can't go back and redo it, okay? We can't go back and do season 1. It makes zero sense. Like I just don't even, like, as a corporation or a company, I just don't understand it. So yeah, I said stuff like that in my video. Is that something that you should suspend people from their thoughts? No, I don't think so. I think that they did a really big misstep in that. And you can see my video. We've got over 10,000 views on that video, and we've got 600 and something thumbs up, 600 and something likes, 600 and I don't know, 40, 50 likes are more likes on my video right there about this company than some people get on their actual views for their videos. Amount of likes we got on that. So a lot of people are there ready to talk about the situation and about the game, but then you want to suspend me? By the way, that suspension's done today, so yeah, then you want to suspend me or something and post some stuff up in content creator chat? Wild, right? Just wild. Okay, so this damage is higher than Erich, no doubt, of 1.9 million. So statue would do no good on this guy. We're getting additional damage with this battle scale. I've heard, now let's test this out. I've heard him with Witch's Remains. He will reapply Witch's Remains. Or will he only apply Witch's Remains, and then when it's up, like most people do, they don't try to reapply it over and over. I've heard with this guy, he reapplies it, which would be really cool, but I haven't seen people use him in that fashion, so it kind of doesn't make sense to me. He does his ultimate, right? He can apply Witch's Remains, but then anytime a wild proc happens during 15 seconds, I've heard he can reapply it, which is really wild. Nobody can usually reapply. That could mean you could have 100% uptime on Witch's Remains. Now, I don't know if this is accurate. We're about to see here. Is he going to throw some daggers? Are we getting any resistance? We have no real accuracy on him, but it's a level 1 test dummy. Okay, there's Witch's Remains. Is it going to refresh, though? Well, it could refresh now because he's doing his ultimate now. Okay, it did refresh. I don't know if it's is it going to refresh again? It refreshed because he did his ultimate, though. Yeah, I don't know if I see him actually reapplying it like I heard a long time ago, which would be pretty broken. Okay, there he's reapplied. Now that refreshed when he did his daggers, though. I'm pretty sure our time keeps stopping when we do our ultimate moves. I think he's like everybody else. He can try to apply it with his additional hits of the dagger, but once he applies it once after doing that ultimate, he's not going to apply it. He's not going to reapply it, refresh it. It's only that one time. That's a shame. Okay, there he is. He got it up on that hit. He wouldn't be a good consistent applier of Witch's Remains because you don't know when it's going to go up, right? Compared to when, you know, you can't time it well with your ultimate. So that wouldn't work well with him. I know you'll delete this. I know you'll delete this and mute this, but who are you? Not because of these videos. You were deleted from attacking. Are you one of the Russian guys I have deleted or have muted? Are you one of the guys I have muted? We talked about that in my video. We talked about that exactly what they put up in my video. Are you one of those Russian guys that always cry about every time we say something, you just like combated with it? Because if that's the case, then yeah, man. And then I blocked those dudes. I got no problem with that. But no, that's not the reason why they put that up there. Yeah, I don't recognize you. I'm sorry. I just tried to go look at your stuff, but I don't recognize your name. That's weird because, you know, behind the scenes, I talked to Neva, I talked to Van Horn, I talked to a lot of content creators. Recently, I've talked to Neva, Van Horn hit me up, JRM hit me up, and then Wilson hit me up and did a video on it. Sky hit me up, as well as, you know, Ivy Lee, Odd One, Scratch, all those people, right? So I've got a good relationship with all those people. I've never had any problems with all of them. So then where am I having an attack of content creators that is outside of these two Russians? I think there's three that are always talking shit, and then there's one other person that was part of their moderator team or something, or helper team. The one that you saw, that little thing where I called him a shill in JRM stream, and I told him I muted him too because he was talking crap about watching 45 seconds of my video and saying the whole video was doing nothing but rile people up and throw fuel on the fire. Yeah. So I don't really know what you're getting at to where I talk. Why would I mute that? I'm not going to delete this or mute this, man. You think I care about you saying that when I'm telling everybody what I did say and when I talk to those people, the people that are always talking trash? Yeah. I don't hold back. I talk to them and then I mute them. So if they want to go complain to content creator and whine about it, if you want to go whine about it, hey man, go ahead. Cry your eyes out. It's not going to make any difference. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, that guy's like a, I don't know, a whiny little crybaby. He's like one of those snowflakes that you got to worry about saying something around. So no, I'm not going to apologize for that. And this is a sponsored stream for Dragonheir Silent Gods. And I will say what I feel I need to say within the rights of all of this. So yeah, man, it's not going to make any difference whatsoever. The truth is going to be the truth. And we will continue to tell the truth. There was no issue of me attacking other content creators. There were a few content creators who were always being told by Scratch, by Ivy, by Odd One, especially by Odd One and Ivy all the time, why are you always so negative with everything we say? And then after I'd already had words with them multiple times, then I blocked them. And then they want to go cry to the content creator people about it. Hey, that's fine. You're suspended for attacking content creators, not because of these videos. Okay, but we read the whole thing in my... Why am I lying to my viewers when we read the whole exact thing that they posted in my video? So why don't you go watch my videos, my man? We read the whole exact, like everything they put up there, we read it all to my viewers. And we showed pictures of it all to my viewers. So I don't know why we're lying to my viewers. You know what I mean? But yeah, it was all because of those videos, right? And they don't want other content creators to, I guess, have like a real opinion about what's going on. They want other content creators to be in line and let them know that, hey, if you do videos like this, you could be banned from the program completely. Yeah, it's weird. Yeah. It's not going to change anything though. I'm going to be in the content creator program in 3 hours and 37 minutes. And if somebody lips off in there and I say something back and mute them, then I'm going to say something back and mute them. And it's going to be warranted because they're sitting there just being dumb. But I don't have to worry about that because now the content creator is all the regular people that just talk normal and have great ideas between each other. And I don't have to worry about talking to them anymore. And I really don't even know who this Celtic guy is. I mean, I don't even remember ever saying anything to you. What did I ever say to you? I'm curious. I'm actually really curious. What did I ever say to you? Because I don't even recognize that name. Are you in here in content creator program? Oh, are you that one guy that changed his name? Is that what he said? Oh, yeah, because you are one. Yeah, you are. Yo, you're that CJ guy? Yeah, you're a snowflake and you are one. Yeah, that's you, man. I'm glad you're here. So you can hear it straight from me. Yeah, that's you, my man. Terrible person. Holding back. Yeah, you're a terrible human being. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you, man. That's why I blocked you. I don't have any, like, we don't need to have any exchange. You're just a terrible person. I blocked you. I don't want to hear from you. So that's why I blocked you. I'm sorry. You're going to have to live with that. I don't know. I don't know what you want from me. Like, what else I could do for you?
Where's going to be my next traveling show?
I mean, you can screenshot this like you did JR stream, and you can run back to community managers and tell them if you want to. I mean, that's fine. You're gonna do what you want to do, man. Do it. Well, you don't have to be paid to be a shill. For the bottom sea level. Is your map the new area featured? I'm on the test server right now. Yeah. It's okay. We'll let this guy take a snippet of what I said and he could run back to community managers now with it. And see if we don't have see if I don't have a post from the community manager soon from this guy about how he's so insensitive to me because he doesn't want to talk to me and yet I still go bother him on his stream. I'm sure this is going to play out really well. Please go to them. Please take your screenshot like you did with JRM stream and go run over to them and cry to them about it. Yeah, right? Another one coming in soon. Some people just don't have anything else to do in their life. That's just how they are, unfortunately. Yeah, this is the guy that was on JRM stream live talking, and then he took a screenshot and showed it over to content creators and said Stew's being mean to me. Same dude. What's a shill? Yeah. Well, I've used shill recently a couple times, and I explained it in that video that I made 4 or 5 days ago. The one with all the views and all the likes. About the content creators I was talking about. I mean, really, I can't think of any other content. And that guy's not even a content creator. This guy calls himself a content creator. Celtic, you're a content creator? Let me see. Yeah, right, sells out. Exactly. Right. There's sellouts. Let's see here. Stream 2 weeks ago. Videos 2 months ago. Video. You've never even done a Dragonheir video on YouTube. You streamed Dragonheir 2 weeks ago, 8 days ago. And that's it. 1 month ago. Or something. Yeah, it's not necessarily a bad word. It's not like it's somebody who like somebody one time said that means breaking the law or something. Like you're somebody who breaks the law. That's not what a shill means. A shill just means that you just sell out, right? It's not something illegal. It's just something that you just sell out to, that you otherwise wouldn't do if you weren't like a sellout. If you weren't like in friends with these people, in league with these people, getting monetary gain or just having some kind of advantage. Maybe you're on a test server that's special from everybody else, or you're helping them behind the scenes with something, which from what I understand, this guy does. This guy has more of a relationship with the moderators and the team than we do as content creators, because he helps them with events, event crew, and some other stuff. So I believe he's in a different like moderator chat, maybe some kind of chat. He's got a little different event color here. So he talks to him a little bit more than we do. Has more of a... Do you have more of a relationship or something behind the scenes? No, I'm asking. Like, do you have more of a conversation with them or something behind the scenes? Or are all your transactions with them are through content creator chat? You enter data in a spreadsheet for events. So you do have a little bit of something, right? They want to know about events, you enter in that information, so you're in some kind of additional chat and you have some different rapport than just we do as content creators. Because content creator chat, we just talk amongst ourselves and we get a little bit of, okay, I hear you, I'll pass that along from the community managers. But other than that, so then how do you know what information to put into spreadsheets or what like tasks to do? 2.1 million? What did we change on this guy? Oh, we changed him from the eyeball to the horseshoe. It says he has a 100% chance to create. Yeah, we're picking some up damage there. 138 55577 and the events channel. Oh, okay. Horseshoe. Scarlet Ring would obviously bring his damage up. I mean, he's definitely pulling in some overall damage over average. And I think we could get it more if we do wild proc. If we bring in another... If we bring in Foley along with Alfie and get those additional wild procs. Let's go back to the eyeball because we know a good number with that. About upcoming event. Yeah, well, I'm just curious because it seems like before he had some kind of different conversations with him about it, you know? Maybe it's just the behind the scenes conversations to where he was complaining about me and showing pictures of me saying stuff in JRM stream, I guess. And about how his feelings were hurt. I guess that's the only thing we've seen. Okay, we're going to put him in the eyeball and then we're going to bring in some additional wild procs. Now let's take her out for now because we get 3 additional procs, right? No, not Flora. Up to 3 additional procs. Okay, let's run her first. We'll run her first with him, and we'll try to see if we can line it up. Zarlaw too? Hey man, congrats. He's one of the last epics that I was able to pick up, and he is awesome. I've been wanting him for so long. It's taken a long time to get him. Congrats. Try Manicore statue, but you want to try Manicore statue on his damage for him? I didn't, but it's because he's got 5 daggers thrown at the enemy at 75% attack. In addition to, it ignores defense too. We don't have a lot of defense on this target, dummy. No, actually, we've got a little bit more defense than the Vortex boss, I believe, on 1. So you want to increase the damage on this compared to his ultimate? I don't think it's going to be... I mean, we always need to test it out, right? It's quick and easy to test it out, but we got to make sure we bring in the same guys that we had a minute ago. Where's Manicore statue? So Manicore statue, I don't assume this would increase his damage over the ultimate because the ultimate, we're getting those additional daggers thrown. It's a lot more damage. So the eyeball for the 20% additional damage should apply to that. The horseshoe gives us 60% additional crit rate overall. And then this is going to give us 20% damage only to that battle skill. So I don't really think it's going to be more, but let's find out. It's only 3 minutes, right? Same gear, and run it. I guess he's in here as a spy. Yo, T Boogie, what's up, my man? Thanks so much for the prime sub. Dragon Caller, thank you too, man. Dragon, appreciate that, buddy. Dragon and I have been around for a long time, way back in the days of Raid of Shadow Legends. Would never use in otherwise to help tank. Yeah, Midnight, it's nice. It's nice that we can use a lot of teams for those chief challenges and a lot of support. We'll use any kind of support we can to make our usually 3 DPS last longer so we can get our damage in there. Hey man, appreciate that. Yeah. Subbing back. Appreciate the love, everybody. Yeah. I guess he's in here to keep tabs, right? He's in here to babysit us. I'm not really sure. Midnight coming in with the gifted sub. Appreciate the love, guys. Hope everybody's doing well. Thanks so much for all the love coming back. Appreciate it. Don't sweat it, guys. Look, we don't need to worry about any of that stuff, right? We just need to know, when are we going to get compensation, if we're ever going to get compensation? When are we going to get our Charlatch? When are we going to get our legendary artifact? I mean, I'm sure even this guy that's a Dragonheir spy can agree that it is totally... Yo, GP with the prime sub coming in with the love. I'm sure even this guy, even being like a deep Dragonheir shill, can agree that you just can't give out a legendary hero, a legendary artifact, along with all these rewards for something that we already completed, that we can't go back and do over. That has to be given to everybody who's played the game. It only makes sense. Like, that's not even a question. I'm sure even that guy could understand that, right? There's no way that dude, Keldic, can be like, well, this, you know, like a counter argument to that. There's just no way. There's just impossible for this guy to be like, to come up. I can't even come up with an excuse. That's how crazy it is. Like, I can't even come up with a counter argument that this guy would have to it. New upcoming game. Yeah. A lot of people started playing it today. I'm surprised you guys are all here because you're probably playing Wuthering Waves. I do want to try it out. I do want to see if it's good. I want to see if it's a good Genshin Impact clone, which I played it for a good 2 months. I spent a lot of money in Genshin because it was really fun to spend there. They have a great system to where you spend and then you get additional points to where you can spend in another shop for spending. Like, they had a really good setup there. It was really fun to spend in Genshin for the weapons. And then I played Tower, what was it called? Tower Fantasy. We played Tower Fantasy for a few months. That was a lot of fun. So I'm hoping, and Wuthering Waves looks a lot cooler. It's not so anime. It's anime, obviously, but it's got a little darker tone to it. Marvel Strike Force will keep you busy. For sure. He didn't say any. Keldic didn't say anything about the rewards. So Keldic, what do you think, man? Do you think it's fair that people should get all the rewards? What's your opinions on that? I'm curious. I play Genshin Killer now. You're playing it right now? Genshin Killer. You're playing the Genshin Killer right now. You know what? Almost the same exact damage. I want to make sure I screenshot your opinions and run over to the community managers about it. But I am honestly curious. Oh, maybe he dipped out. I do get your point. I don't disagree. No, nobody. No, then you're completely off on that mindset. I've never been that way a day in my life, even in the military, when they're dead set on tradition. When things were harder for you in the past, why should it be harder for other people? Even with myself in the military, I'd always thought that was the dumbest thing ever. Nobody, and it's weird that you say that because nobody has ever said it was hard for us, it should be hard for them. Nobody has ever said that. Yeah. Nobody's ever said that at all, right? Games do things for new players all the time. Well, it's cool for them. It doesn't exactly upset me. Right. So again, you're missing the whole point. Nobody's ever said that it should be harder for them and they shouldn't have it. We've actually all said that season 1 is amazing. And if you watch more than 45 seconds of that video where you said all I did was throw fuel on the fire, you would have heard me say how amazing season 1 is, and it's so good that they've done that for new players. Because it is. It's great. Season 1 is fun to play, and they don't need to change it one bit. But what they do need to do is give those rewards to all the other seasons and make sure it's fair for everyone. Nobody's ever said that. So again, this is why I mute you, my man. I mute you because you say things that just don't make sense, right? And I don't want to have a conversation about it with you because obviously you're not getting it. You're trying to be combative on purpose, or you're just not getting it inside your noodle that we never said any of that. We never thought that ever about rewards. What we want is fair to all of us. Yeah, people do things about new player experiences. They change the new player experience to make it fun. But I've never seen a gacha game give out a new legendary hero to all new players and not give it out to everybody else. I've never seen them do that to where they're like, okay, because those types of games where they do say, here's a new hero that you can work toward getting, we can go back and work toward getting. There's no seasons to go back to. We can actually still get that hero. Yeah, so you guys see what I'm saying about this Celtic guy? I mean, right there, he just proved his point, right? He did say that he gets the point and he doesn't disagree. So right there, but then he had to include more so that he's like shilling for the company, right? So let me defend the company a little bit here because I do agree with you, but then he brings up this whole other thing about it was hard for us and not hard for others, which nobody ever said. So that's like not even point of it. New games do new things, new players all the time. That's great. We know that. Not even a point to what we're talking about right now. Nothing to do with it. This is why this guy's muted. This is why we don't deal with him. And he doesn't understand that. It's weird. Hold on, I gotta get my numbers in here. And he just proved his point, man. Yeah, it is. And I have my view too, right? And I'm able to have my view and say my say without somebody going, oh, community manager Stu is hurting my feelings, right? We should all be able to say our views on it, right? Exactly. I agree with you on that point, for sure. But I think you just discredited yourself by saying what you said earlier, and I think everybody got an idea of why I don't talk to you. I mean, they completely understand. This is, the things you type out like that, just like you typed out about my video prior in there, then that's it. And it also feels like maybe you're a little bit lonely. I don't know. Let's keep testing this guy out. So Manicore Statue gave us the eyeball, very similar numbers. Horseshoe gave us more, of course, because we've got a 100% chance to crit. And then I'm sure Scarlet Screen is going to give us even more, but we don't need to test that. What I want to see, though, with eyeball on, since we know those good numbers, it doesn't really matter what artifact we put on. Now let's try to get some more wild proc in here. But it's hard, right? It's hard to get a whole bunch of wild procs. And the only way we can get a more consistent chance to wild proc would be with Alfie. But then we need to do teams. Like, we can see here if we increase his damage. And that's what we're trying to do, like a damage hierarchy for wild. Alfie singing. Once we have this damage hierarchy for wild, we can then, depending on what your roster is, you can come in here and check and say, okay, these guys do the best. This one does really well with Witches Remains, all that kind of stuff. And then we can do team comps. So we can give Alfie some gear, some real gear. We can give Felicity some real gear and see how that does with Casper on the Vortex boss, Vortex 4. His battle skill is really painful. It seems like it, right? It seems like it's hitting. It was pretty much almost the same exact damage as the eyeball. Yeah, Dark Knight. Right. Give us what you gave them. It's only fair. It is only fair, 100%. And why we haven't heard about it, I honestly think the reason why we haven't heard anything about it is because of the company transition. There's just a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes right now, I can imagine. There has to be. For everything to be delayed right now with even the Dungeons and Dragons collaboration, there has to be a lot going on with the transition from Tencent, you know, from them to Tencent. There's just got to be a lot of behind the scenes happening that we don't know about, that they're not able to tell us about, and content creators ask every day. All day, like, even though I can't type in there right now, I can see everybody's chat. And the biggest thing that every single content creator has written in there throughout the last 7 days is, please just tell us anything. Let us tell our community anything at all. Hey, it's being delayed. We're working on this. We're working on that. Even if it's stuff that's not going to be 100% done, just give the community an idea of what's happening. But they're not allowed to, right? I just don't think they're allowed to. Well, we know they're not allowed to because they're not telling us. So we're just waiting to hear from that. And that's what everybody needs to know, right? We just want to get a little information. But unfortunately, with the transition, I don't think they're not going to be able to give us anything until it's set in the stone, right? Until the new company says, okay, here's the bulletin you can put it out. So we're just going to have to wait a little while. Yeah, it's also really rich when you watch 45 seconds of somebody's video and then say the whole video's garbage and trash and side with community managers. Spending money telling players, right? Yeah, you got to take care of everybody. I mean, it's simply fair is fair. I mean, it's nothing more than that, you know? It's really nothing more than that. We can't go back and do it. Fair is fair, and it's a legendary hero and a legendary artifact. And when you hear from all the comments, when you read all the comments on the video, and you hear people saying that, hey, I don't have a legendary artifact after 2 seasons. Some of them say I don't have a legendary artifact after 3 seasons as free to play. That hurts. That really hurts. Because they're so hard to come by. Even though this legendary artifact, the thing is, this legendary artifact isn't even good. It's a legendary artifact that increase summons damage. It's not even like the damage of a summoner. It's not even great. It's not even anything that they would even actually use to get an advantage on the vortex or get an advantage going through dungeons. We could get some more damage when we do something like a chief challenge or in-game boss. Funniest thing is, it's not even something that would change or sway anybody's gameplay. This legendary is not great. The legendary artifact's not great. So you add that on top of all this, it just becomes a bit weird. Excuse me. Right? A little bit weird then. Okay, we can definitely gauge her ultimate to be done when he does his ultimate. And then she's gonna wild proc 3 times in a row, which should increase his damage by a lot. And then at that point, the eyeball should do way more damage than Mana Core Statue, right? Oh, we're full. Hmm. 20 seconds, 15. So we definitely just need her to go 12.5, 20 seconds. But we need to keep Alfie in rotation. So we're just going to make sure that we do him at 11. Do him there and then 20. So right before they do their ultimates, they're going to have a higher chance to wild proc. And then any battle skills going on there will have a higher chance too. So we should see 9 daggers pop off. If she does 3 wild procs in a row over there. There we go. Stay positive. Ultimate. Now she's going to... How many hits? A lot of hits. He should be throwing in a whole bunch of daggers then. Anywhere from 3 to 9. Oh, can we? Dragon Caller, you make me want to play right now. That's the only reason why I fell in love with Diablo Immortal. If Diablo Immortal didn't have controller support for us, I was done, man. I was not going to play it. We used to stream Diablo Immortal for like 18 hours. I'd be falling asleep. There were many times when we were playing DI that I was sitting here like this and then falling asleep. It's still a legendary artifact. Yes, and that's the whole point, right? It is. And, you know, the community managers can only do so much. They're just there to relay information to the devs. It's not like they can even push things on the devs. They just basically say it and that's it. We're not there to see what information is passed and how serious the devs take it. But after my videos, after the outcry from the community, they should, I feel like that they should know from the devs how serious all this was and that it should have been taken care of by now. That's just my only concern, you know? But there could be too much going on with the transition that they're not worried about it, because really the Dungeons and Dragons collaboration was kind of something set in stone because they only have it for 2 years. They have to do certain heroes that they've already got mapped out for those 2 years. You know they did. With a contract for 2 years, we had Drist, we had Elminster. They've got everything already charted out for and how often that it's going to go off. And I'm sure with a contract with anybody outside of your game that you're only going to have that for a limited time, it's pretty finite. So there's not going to be a lot of wiggle room in that contract, I would think. So since that has been postponed too, then there must be a lot going on. A lot of attorneys, you know, working with taking over the company and a lot of changes with legal, you know, the legalities of all this. So there must be a lot of things happening. So I have no doubt that in the future, things are going to be great. Like none of us have any doubt about that. That in the future, you know, whenever that's going to happen, it'll be great. A lot. Anytime we have the D&D collaborations, even when we just have the D&D collaborations going on, we get new players like crazy. Good influx of players. Every single one we've had a really good influx. Plus, we've had a really cool boss to fight every time. It didn't matter when you started playing because everybody could participate. Every hero you had on your roster was maxed out. You didn't have to worry about leveling them. You didn't have to worry about gearing them. So everybody could have fun with it, and you had a chance to get a legendary, a D&D legendary. So they all came out. It was awesome. And I'm sure they're going to want to, I'm sure they want to continue that, but again, it just has to do with legalities right now that they're working through. Has to be that, right? So he got 2-9. A lot more damage. This guy picked up 1 million. Exactly 1 million. With Erich and Netta, we did 1.9 million, 1.9 million eyeball statue, and then we did 2.1 million with horseshoe. So now we're throwing in our Foley. Is that her name? Alfie, and I think her name's Foley, something like that. We pulled her in, and another million picked up. So that's a pretty damn good increase. So I'm curious, like this team on the Vortex boss compared to Erich, Totalnan, and somebody else. So you bring in Erich, Totalnan, you bring in what other kind of legendary you have, Rash or something like that, or you bring in Felicity, Erich, Totalnan, Felicity. How does that compare to like this group right here? Would it be kind of comparable? Because everybody's got a different roster. It's kind of cool once we're done doing all this testing with the same gear on everyone. Except for Flora, we're going to have to put enlightenment stuff on her. Once we're done getting a damage hierarchy, then we need to do like a team composition and see who does the most. And Watchers of Realms. Keldic? Okay, my man, no problem. We got you. It's just nice if you would show your support in content creator chat a little bit better when it comes to what the community is feeling. If the whole of the community is feeling a certain way and you side with CMs, right? With the game devs, you openly go in there and act like it's not a big deal and the whole community is upset about something, it's not a good look. Like, I don't know why you would do that, first off. No matter what your personal opinions are about, hey, they got rewards, I didn't get rewards. If everybody in the community is upset about it, you telling the CMs that it's okay, I don't think makes the situation better at all. I think that actually makes the situation worse. I think that sets them seeing like, okay, there's this person we know that's saying that this isn't a bad thing, you know? I don't think that's a good thing to do. Running with new season 1? D&D running with a new season and advertising it? Well, that's the thing. Every time we get a new season, we get an influx, and every time we get a new D&D, we get an influx, and then they play season after season, and then none of the seasons merge, and they get a little discouraged about what's going on, you know? Because we still don't have it to the point to where we can all play on the same season together. Different total servers with people that you started playing with, so you're not playing with anybody stronger than you, but we're just not on the same, banners, we're not on the same season, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, okay. So what are we going to put here? Statue is going to be less damage. We'll do the statue for sure. We didn't change anything on him except for, I guess, it doesn't even matter. We don't need this on him. Like, there's no reason we have hourglass on him. Let's remove this. We've got him set up at 20 seconds. So we're not doing anything fancy. Any kind of gear will work. Her with Witch's Remains would be great if he's going to be our main damage dealer, because then she can proc this multiple times to get up Witch's Remains. Anytime she procs 2, more daggers will fly in. Off of Witch's Remain, I think Alfie's going to do great damage. But just so we can see the increase we're getting here, because it is a 1,000,000 increase, this should drop his damage quite a bit. Then get pushed to the newest season. They can do better than that. I think they can do a lot better than that. I think you can play through season 1 and be pushed to the newest season and still be playing season 1 while you're in the newest season. Think about what a new season is. A new season is just new heroes, new banners. The bosses work a little bit differently. Maybe, possibly. So I don't think that there's any reason why you can't start a new season and go through the season 1 storyline, but you're still on the newest season rotation as far as summons, banners go, the bosses go, the gear goes. Like, why wouldn't you not be able to do that? We're still playing on the same continent. Even though I'm in season 5 and I'm playing with all the season 5 stuff, you could be a season 1 player, but in season 5, well, you could be a new player. You're not even calling it season 1. You could be a new player playing all the stuff that we did throughout season 1, but you're in season 5, and even it would carry over. So say you got caught in the middle of season 5, you're still able to do all the storyline stuff until you complete it, going on from season to season, or something like that. I don't think it's too difficult to do that. There's so many ideas though. Like, that's just a general idea right there, but there are so many awesome ideas for people to come in and just go to the new season right away that it would be very easy, like extremely easy. So many awesome ideas. Well, that's not how you came at me. That's not how you came at me, but okay. Very personally, because I'm no one sellout. Oh, well, that's good to know, man. Just show that next time. So that's why you ran to the community managers about that screenshot. Simp? Yeah. Maybe I should use a different word. I think shill has a bad tone over here, so we're gonna start simp. I like simp. I'm gonna start using simp. What is the definition of simp, just so we don't get in trouble over here? Internet slang term describing someone who shows excessive sympathy and attention toward another person. We'll just call it toward a game or devs, right? Typically someone who does not reciprocate the same feelings, pursuit of affection or a sexual relationship. I don't comment on that. Comments too. Yeah. I don't know if simp is going to be appropriate for that. Happy. Well, surprisingly enough, we're bringing in additional daggers. here's the thing. The 20% additional damage should work on all of his battle skills, right? We're 2.7 to 2.9. So we're looking at a difference of 200,000. So it's not, I mean, it's a big enough difference that over a longer fight with more damage numbers, like higher damage numbers, it would definitely be over a longer fight for the Vortex boss. It would be worth using Eyeball for sure. But if you had Statue leveled, it's not terrible. But if we could bring in something like Horseshoe, let's see here. For the next 15 seconds, the hero throws... See, this should work. Like, Eyeball should work toward this. For the next 15 seconds, this is part of his ultimate. The Eyeball should 100% work toward getting damage. Now, we could see this if I could see the daggers. We could run Eyeball, we could run Statue, and then we could look at the dagger damage, like for the next 15 seconds. But I can't really see the dagger damage. It's kind of hard to see. She should be, right? Because he's giving her a 50% chance additional to wild proc. She should be doing these 3 wild procs right here at a, what is it? 80% chance? 80% chance to wild proc. So a lot of times she's going to do this 3 times in a row. Unless it's does this have a higher chance? No, it doesn't. And then we can line it up. Because if we use Felicity, it's harder to line up. So let's put in Felicity here. We know the damage we get with all of these. And a lot of people probably have Felicity from the Horn or from Purple Dice, which I still don't yet. I hope one day to get her. But this is going to be a battle skill. Let's see what happens. Much harder to line up. Maybe impossible to line up. I don't even know what I would do for their times because it's a battle skill. So if she's going to do it 10 seconds and then 10 seconds again, it could fire off right at 20 seconds, right? Or it will. So if we bring his ultimate to happen at 19.5, her battle skill is going to go right after this, right? At that point. But then on, yeah, and keep it 20 seconds. It should be every time. So her battle skill should be going off at this time. If we bring him at 19, his lasts for how long? 15 seconds? 15 seconds. So if I bring him to, this will hit 2 battle skills for her. 19. And it doesn't matter with their ultimate. But we'll put her ultimate after... Put it at 21. She'll battle skill, and then after that. Is that correct? Is that correct on the numbers there? Right? It should be 10 seconds. Oh no, they had their initial start time. We didn't do it from their initial start time. Whoops. Okay, all that's off. I didn't look at their initial start time for their battle skill. So us saving all this isn't. All right, she did her ultimate. Now when's her battle skill popping up? There it goes. But I think we can get 2 battle skills in there, right? Since it is her battle skill, we should be able to maybe get 2 in there. A thought bot? Yeah, we know. For thoughts on... We've seen all the simps on Twitch. And on YouTube, like, I don't know why lately, the last few days, I've been seeing a lot of sheer clothing on YouTube for all the simps out there. You can look up like clear hauls or whatever they call them, to where they try on a lot of different clothing. Not something we should talk about here though. A white knight. So what's her initial start time for this? 5 seconds. So she's going to do this at 5 seconds and then at 15 seconds on that rotation. So that's pretty good. So we'll set up 15 seconds, right? So we want to make sure he goes at like 14.5. Make sure he goes at 14, 20, and then it doesn't matter with this ultimate, but we want the ultimate to go after... We don't want the ultimate to be at 15 seconds. That's when her battle skill is going to go off. So we want it right after 15 seconds. So let's just put it at 16 seconds. Let's see if this lines up. Can we get 2 of her battle skills in with... That would be a big increased damage if we can. Because we just need more wild procs. Doesn't matter how much damage they're doing. We just need wild procs to happen. Ultimate. Battle skill. That's her ultimate. Now her battle skill should be coming up in just a minute with a whole bunch of daggers flowing again, right, for him? I think his was done by then. That's her battle skill. If his runs for 15 seconds, she should be able to get in there and do another one, right? But I don't see daggers flying after her second one. Yeah, I think it will be too if we can get her to battle skill twice during his ultimate. During Casper's ultimate, right? What's going on? Alfie increases. He does. Yes, that's correct. A lot of people saying it wasn't for Stew. Oh yeah, a lot of people in the comments. If you go read that comment section on that video I did, a lot of people were saying some really nice stuff. It was very, very nice. There were actually, I didn't see any negative stuff in there, to be honest with you. Out of like 200 comments, a lot of nice stuff. I don't think. There she goes with her battle skill. I see daggers flying out then. But I'm really positive that after she does it this next time, there, I see no daggers. But if we're talking 15 seconds, we can see up here, we're at 105 when he casts that ultimate. So if 50 will be 15 seconds. And she does it right at that point. Okay, maybe we need to bring her up a little bit. She did it like right at that point. No, well, that second one. She didn't do it on the second one. Like, the daggers weren't flying on the second one. So he comes and does his ultimate for 15 seconds. So she should definitely be able to do 2 battle skills with multiple hits during that ultimate, which would increase his damage by a lot. The 2.9 million we got with bringing in this team, we went up from 1.9 to 2.9 instead of Erich and Netta. That was with the other 2 epics and Alfie, the other epic and Alfie. Now we're bringing in her, and it should definitely increase it from 2.9 to more if we can get this to work out. Because it starts at 5 seconds. It's going to hit again at 15 seconds, right? She's going to hit at 15 seconds. 14.999. Hers is going to hit at 15 seconds. This needs to go live at like 14.5. This will be 15 seconds to have this also increase the chance to wild proc. And I think this should do it, right? Is her ultimate... Her ultimate's not... You think her ultimate's messing it up? I don't think so. Her ultimate's going off afterwards. It's 16 seconds. 1 second after the battle skill. Battle skill for her. See, there's no way it can't work. Right now we've got at least 14 seconds, and she only needed 10 seconds. Oh, did it work then? I think it worked then, right? I think I saw the daggers fly out there on her second battle skill now. Oh, she's getting a turn meter increase. She's getting that ultimate up, which is messing up her ultimate. I thought I had her ultimate set at 20 seconds though. Yeah, it's staying. Now her battle skill is going after her ultimate, which is weird. All right, let's see what kind of damage we get. I feel like both battle skills are sometimes getting in there with multiple hits, multiple wild proc, you know, hits in there. I feel like it. She's there just for accuracy. She's there so we're not worried about anybody's leader skill. If we bring in a different wild people and they have some kind of critical damage or attack leader skill, Sigrid is only here for a leader skill. Accuracy leader skill, so it doesn't mess up any of our testing. Filled up. I only have resistance left, and I only have a few hits into resistance, and that's it. It is nice capping it out. You're right. Battle skill. I don't know if daggers are flying with that second battle skill. They should be. 100% should be. Here's the thing though, we're getting less overall damage on Casper with Felicity than if we had the other epic in here. Unless he just picks up a whole bunch of damage really quick. We got 2.9 million. And she's got like a 100% chance to wild proc on these hits. Our other girls only got like an 80%. I think it's going to be this. No, it's a little bit less. I believe something weird is going on here. What branch were you in, Stu? The Navy. Marine Corps? Nice. 07 to 03 to 07. Were you stationed in Japan? I used to go down to Okinawa sometimes to well, we were stationed in Okinawa there at Air Force Base, flying P3s at the time. And we used to have to get our tires done at whatever flight line base you had there for the Ospreys. I can't remember the name right now. It wasn't Kadena, right? Is that the Air Force Base? Man, I can't remember anything, but I used to have to go over there and get our tires done over with you guys, change out our tires there. So I was on that Marine base, you know, like once a week or so. Try Felicity. Yeah, that's who we had right now. Let's just see if we got... Well, we couldn't have gotten bad procs. I just don't know why it would be... If anything, it should be the same exact damage. Because she can do 3 additional procs here. 3 times, right? She can do 3 times, and then our girl here can do 3 times. So at the very least, it should be the same damage.
What is this experiment about?
3 hits. 3 in a row. We're just looking for wild procs. That's it. We don't even care what kind of damage she can do separately or what kind of damage Felicity can do separately. We're not worried about any of that. With him? Oh, instead of Alfie? Oh, use these 2 together? Well, they're not going to wild proc that often then, and we got to match them up. All right, let me see what's going on here first though before we go to... We can do that. We can try those out for sure. See if we can get some more damage from Casper, but we're going to have to get lucky with strings of wild hits since she only has, well, she only has a 50% chance. Increased 50% chance. Oh, so she's actually got 50, 60, 70, 80, 80. She's got an 80 built-in 80% chance for this already. So we're only increasing it by 20% more with Alfie here. But this girl, it really helps because she only has a 30% chance to wild proc here to get these additional hits. And this brings it up to 80 with Alfie there. Even so, though, with these 2 together or with these 2 together, it should be the same exact number. Unless we could get Felicity to hit twice on that battle skill, which I know we are. I know we're getting it to rotate twice. I don't understand why... why that second volley of hers isn't working. I'm going to turn her ultimate off really quick and see what happens. just to see if I can see more daggers come out. So 15 seconds from now, we're at 44. She did her battle skill right then. So she should be doing her battle skill right about now. There it is again. Okay, now I saw the daggers fly out again. I did. I saw the daggers fly out with her ultimate turned off. Yep. I can actually really see the daggers flying out now from her too. So his damage should definitely skyrocket. I don't know about skyrocket, but you know, he's getting 3 more hits, 3 more wild procs in every ultimate. It should definitely be quite a bit more than 2.9 million. It doesn't do us any good though if we're turning off Felicity's ultimate. Maybe we just need to put it further out because we had her ultimate happen at 16 seconds. She was doing her battle skill at 15 seconds. Maybe if we put it further out, I don't know why a battle skill would mess with the timing on the ultimate would mess with the timing on the battle skill unless they were going off at the same exact time because of animation. I could see where that would mess it up, but we don't have the ultimate going off anywhere near the same time as the battle skill. Yep. Yeah, we could tune it to where he's 100%. We need the hourglass with 70 skill haste, right? To do that. I don't know. I don't think this additional wild check is happening. Or daggers aren't flying when they should be. Something's not working right. How are we getting less damage? How am I bringing in Felicity over this epic and getting less damage on Casper? I don't get it. They're both supposed to do 3 wild procs each during Casper's ultimate. So again, at minimum, they should be the same. If Felicity's not able to get the extra in there. Okay, this is actually almost the same. 1.9, 1.94. Okay, so she's not getting that additional wild proc in there, unfortunately. But she will do more damage overall. So if we were to play Felicity, like if we're going to make a team for the Vortex boss, and we played this team versus in full gear, right? In real gear, going up against the Vortex boss 4, the hardest one, I'm pretty sure, and we'll test this out later, that obviously the Felicity team, especially with her critical damage lead, should do more damage than this team. Although this one's got a critical damage lead too, it'd be cool to put them against each other. To get down to 15 seconds, the Felicity should be 20 skill has to get down to 15 seconds. He should need hourglass plus 70. That's what we need on Corrin to get down to 15 seconds. Like right now, just with the hourglass, this gives us 100 extra skill haste. And he's at 16 instead of 20. Oh, you're right. It's going to be a lot less. Corrin has 20 second. This guy's got, but I don't think this is the problem. Like the problem isn't him having the wild proc up. The problem is Felicity's second volley not affecting Casper. Like within that last 15 seconds, not adding to the damage. This will just give us more wild procs from their battle skills. Right, battle skills or whatever else is going on during the bosses. But we've got, actually it won't. We're getting 15 seconds from him regardless. We're getting 15 seconds on this regardless. So it doesn't, like 15 seconds uptime on any wild procs is happening while Casper is doing his ultimate. So it's all the same timing, right? 15 seconds here, 15 seconds there. Anybody with wild procs during that time has a much higher chance to wild proc. But the damage increase from Foley to Felicity for Casper is not changing. And there's nobody else we have that can do more wild procs, right? That's it. There's nobody that does excessive wild proc checks. Does he do wild proc checks on his daggers? No. This is just giving us additional daggers and damage when somebody else wild checks. We have that up. The charade. And then that's it. So to increase Casper's damage, you either play with her or you play with her.
The flame is lit.
And then playing them together. Four, 9, 4, 5. So these two just need to... She needs to wild proc after him, so that could be at 15, whatever, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because she's on 20 seconds, so it could be at 16. But now her, she's doing that battle skill, so I'm going to put her further out. Or like 18. 20. Now the only problem with this setup is we don't have that increased chance to wild proc. So the Epic's only got a 30% chance to do additional hits on that battle skill. Felicity still has an 80% chance on her battle skill. The Epic's ultimate only has a 30% chance to do additional hits now.
Eureka.
That.
I've got it.
So we're going to get lucky sometimes and unlucky sometimes. So it's going to be a big variation in damage every time we run this now. Ultimate. Now where's Felicity's battle skill? Right there. Okay. Okay, Felicity's battle skill is good. Now you think this is going to be more damage? Where his ultimate is not up? Ultimate down. But it was still proccing sometimes. Like Felicity's has an 80% chance. The problem though was Felicity was still wild proccing at an 80% chance, but no daggers were flying out, right, with the additional hits. That would bring her up to 100%, but what we were seeing is that additional volley of wild procs on the battle skill, they weren't, like, this guy wasn't throwing out daggers. And I could swear we were in... That's a lot of daggers? I could swear we were in the 15 second of Casper's ultimate. We had to be. Because we're doing a battle skill right when he happens his ultimate. 15 seconds, but we're doing another battle skill in 10 seconds. So even if it was at the like 11, 12 second mark, we still got 3 seconds left. So she's firing off that second battle skill. It's going to wild proc on its own, even at an 80% chance base. Right, that's what it has. Right now, without fully increasing it. But no daggers were being thrown out at that time. So it was a little bit... It was weird. And we did multiple tests, and it wasn't increasing it more than the Epic. There are a lot of daggers flying out, but damage-wise, there are. It seems like there's a lot of daggers flying out. I agree. Damage-wise, though, we're low. Extremely low.
Eureka. I've got it.
Does he have a cap? He's got a cap on some daggers flying? I see some more daggers flying. Or a cap on one skill during his ultimate.
Eureka. I've got it.
You know, being able to do that. I usually run Erich Total Nan. Third with them. Foley's, Netta, or a different one. Dark Knight. I have no other wild legendaries. That's what we're going to find out. We're doing a wild tier list. I want to do a tier list with every single damage type out there. It's going to take time. Like, it's going to take a lot of time. Because we got to test all these heroes. And right now, we've kind of taken too much time having fun and really getting to know what team comps work well. Kind of what I wanted to do at the end. First, I wanted to get an idea of what damage they do. But I think it's better we're doing it this way because we're able to try out all the different artifacts too and see what artifact's the best. And then I wanted to move into team comp. So right now, we're kind of doing a little bit different than I wanted. But once we get to doing each damage of each hero, it'll move fast. Like we slap this gear on for 3 minutes on a rare, slap it on another rare, another rare, another rare. and we just look at what kind of damage they have. Even maybe put them in with Foley there so they get a little higher chance to proc. And then we have our damage hierarchy. And then in a situation like yours, you've got those two, and you know they're amazing. You can see on the list that they're amazing, and then you can look at the next person that does really great damage, that has like a multi-hit ultimate, maybe if you want to put Witch's Remains on them, or if you want to put it on either one of those two, because those two do have 5 hits on their ultimates. Then you can decide which one you want to throw in there. Right. That's the whole point of this list, eventually, just to see who does the most damage, what team comp you'd want to put together for Chief Challenges, for Vortex, and for the in-game boss, if it's viable for them. Not for dungeons. You don't use these guys for dungeons. You don't, I mean, you can. Speed runs at the end if you wanted to. But progression-wise, going through, you won't use them for dungeons. You won't use this team because they're single target for goblins. But it's cool. I think it'll be fun to do for each of the different damage types. And then keep this updated from season to season. When we have new heroes come in, but we'd have to use different gear then. So each different test server, we have different gear. So it's kind of hard to keep updating it. So I don't know yet. I don't know the answer to that question, which one you should play with them yet. Netta is great. She does a lot of good damage, great damage. I don't know how Netta compares specifically to, I'm pretty sure when we tested them before that they all kind of did comparable damage. Like when we come over here to this girl, I use her sometimes for Witch's Remain because she has 3 hits on her ultimate. I think she, Netta, I want to say that Bronwyn, Netta, and her, Thea, all do similar damage. But there might be some caveats to where we can play around with them to minimize, maximize, and try to get some more damage, you know, with a different team comp, with different team comps. Each wild proc grants a damage bonus to this hero's next basic attack. So if we play this guy with somebody who's doing a lot of wild procs, we can get some more damage out of him, and we'll do that when we get there. Goblin. You burn down one goblin as they run out. Burn, 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 burn. It's increased to 50%. Okay, well then I read that all wrong. Yeah, I still haven't pulled her yet. Enemy successful wild rate. This skill is increased to 50%. So we do need his 100% chance to give her wild procs. Okay, good call. Good call on that one. So she's only got 50% chance to wild proc there. So that's why we weren't doing well. When we put her in there with this lady, with Casper, it just was not good. Her at a 30% chance to get additional wild procs. Her at a 50% chance to get additional wild procs. Casper doing his ultimate. What was the damage? I didn't even record it. It was nowhere near 2.7 or 2.9, right? I mean, we're talking, I thought it was like 1.9. 1.8? Thanks. Yeah, that's bad. On team comps? I've never done that. In-game suggestions on team comps? Don't they just usually show Flora? Like, hey, you want to play wild? Get Flora, an exclusive, and then throw her in with Erich and Total Nan or something. And we'll bring those. We'll bring Erich and Total Nan in when we need to. But right now, we don't need to with Casper, right? Casper is his own little beast where we're trying to get as much damage as possible out of him. If you wanted to focus on just Casper. Yeah, I think it does for most of those. All right, guys, I've been on for 2 hours and 30 minutes. I'm going to go hit the gym. I got to do chest and tries today. And my kids will be home after that. It's already 1:23 p.m. But everybody have a great day. Thanks for all the subs. You guys are wonderful. And I'll be back tomorrow. Same time tomorrow, so catch me then. If you're not playing Dragonheir Silent Gods, download it with the link down below. Or go on Steam, download it from there. Download it on your mobile device. And then we should have some new stuff coming up. You know, usually I'd be telling you about the new season and Dungeons and Dragons and all that. We don't know yet. Soon as we know, which we should know, hopefully, they told us we should get some more information by the end of this month, which is coming up soon. So I hope we have some information on that soon. And as soon as we do, you know you're going to hear it from every single content creator out there, for sure. Darkness Midnight, Java, RHCX, thanks so much, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Let me know what's going on with Wuthering Waves. Let me know how good that game is. And after we're done with all my sponsored streams here, I'll jump on and we'll stream that. Take care, guys.